They're all out?
Shadiversity.
Greetings, I'm Shad, and a lot of things get shared with me on Twitter, if it's sword related, people dance sword, doing cool things with swords, but also sometimes things about nunchucks, and usually it's just like fun little harmless things, but there's one in particular that I thought, okay, let's break this down, and it is a video of a person using nunchucks to blow out candles. And I don't know, for me, I'm just not that super impressed by it, but hey, maybe I'm wrong, and this is really, really hard to do, okay? Or you need to be particularly trained and well done, but we're going to test it to see how easy or hard it is to do with nunchucks. And then, actually, all right, if you can do it with nunchucks, does that mean nunchucks are uniquely better at such a task than other weapons? I have a feeling that a stick is going to be just as easy, if not easier, to perform this feat. And then we'll see what other weapons might be able to do to candles. And then we'll have to figure out something to do with all these candles, because we bought a lot of them. Maybe a nice candlelight dinner. And lucky for us, we got the food, because this video is sponsored by HelloFresh. In case you didn't know, my family and I absolutely love HelloFresh. We've been using it for, years now? And I can honestly say we haven't had a meal we haven't enjoyed. You can enjoy their fall's freshest flavors. Every HelloFresh recipe includes ripe, just picked produce that travels from the farm to your door in less than a week. We particularly like that HelloFresh offers a line of kid-friendly recipes for the picky eaters, which makes it perfect if you have a family like ours looking to try something new for this school year. Their recipes are genuinely delicious and fit and wholesome. It really does make it easier to eat without sacrificing flavor, so you can maintain your food goals and feel good about your food choices when you use HelloFresh. And I am not a good cook, but HelloFresh makes it super easy. They have pre-proportioned ingredients, which makes less prep time and also less wasted food overall. I first tried HelloFresh well before they were ever a sponsor, and it was through a promo code just like this. All you need to do is give it one go, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be hooked just like I was. All you have to do is go to HelloFresh.com and use code Shadiversity65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Guys, that's 65% off. It is a genuinely brilliant deal, and it's delicious food on top of that. That's more than half price off. It's 65% off, guys. So seriously, just go to HelloFresh.com and use code Shadiversity65 for 65% off plus free shipping. You will love it, and I can't wait for you to try this delicious food from HelloFresh. Okay, so we have the candles lit here, and already I'm wondering that we might be facing unique problems that didn't exist in the previous video. It feels like I can't feel any breeze out here, yet the candles are responding to, like one even might be blowing out. Like, look at this. We'll see what we could do. Who knows, this might be, because also now they're burning at an uneven temperature, and to get this work, I think all the candles need to be on an exact same plane. We'll see. Do our best and see if we can reproduce this video. So the video is trying to say that it's uniquely difficult to blow out candles with nunchucks. So we'll test that. Ready? They're all out. They were, yeah, they were small because we're outside, but you saw the smoke, okay? And I knocked the last one out because it was standing a little too proud, but that wasn't hard. And then I've had people try and say, can a stick do this? All right, we'll find out. So the reason why the nunchuck thing and candles didn't really impress me, because what we're actually seeing is the wind effect. So as the stick travels through the air, it displaces wind, pushing it around, and as you know, wind blows out candles, and so the kind of, I don't know if it's a wake or whatever, that is following the stick afterwards, that's what's actually blowing out the candle. And so to do it with a stick, wow, it's amazing stick power! So it turns out there's actually a bit of a trick to this, not proper, impressive, astounding skill or something uniquely amazing about nunchucks. So much so, case in point. I think I've shown the point I'm trying to make, is that you can actually blow it out even with your hand, though the hand is a bit more difficult. One, there's that. But also, she's got wax all over my head. The hand is moving much slower than something on a lever, all right? Like, I can only, throw my hand as fast as I can based on that. But as soon as you throw in something that is now increased the rotational radius, the tip of the stick and nunchucks are moving much, much quicker. And so it creates more wind displacement to put out the candles. But I think I know what you're all really dying to see, and that is, can a sword put out candles? Well, we will find out. They're all out. Turns out wax is a bit more solid thing to cut, and there's very little holding these candles in place. They're not like in actual candle holders. But now I'm just interested to see if we can cut a candle in half. Don't think we're gonna have much success at that. Of course, I mean, if you think any of that is impressive, watch, ready? We did nunchuck, stick, sword. Now, I'll magically put them out without using anything at all. Wow! Now, I get it, the video, it's fun, it looks cool, okay, and that's primarily what it's meant for. It looks cool, okay, and it's a fun thing to watch. But I do want to talk a little bit about, being aware and not being fooled by videos like this, because it actually doesn't reflect, one, how effective a weapon would be in combat, specifically nunchucks, or if it's doing something uniquely amazing if you can do it with a stick or even just your hand, like that, because of the wind displacement. This isn't like a groundbreaking thing. There are some things that, of course, are difficult to achieve, but when you're filming like this, if you don't get it the first time, just recut, reset, and try it again and again until you get it. And so it would be more impressive if these things were done in one continuous shot without any kind of cutting in between, because even we cut here and we run into issues and then we reset, do it again to get the perfect shot and perfect angle. So when you see people like doing these amazing things, just be aware of the cuts and how many times it might actually take to achieve it. The next thing that I want people to be aware of in videos like this and many others is that flashiness does not equal combative effectiveness. So yes, nunchucks are a fun kind of flashy weapon. You see them doing these incredible spins and stuff, and they're swinging it around, throwing it in the air. That doesn't mean that would be effective in combat, not by a long shot. Do you see flourishes like this in actual fighting, where someone's like fighting someone and they're like, you're not gonna get me? No, they don't do that because like most of the time the sword is off point, and it's actually really easy to just do a solid strike and take advantage of the opening and grab it, because when you're doing something like this, you don't have leverage, so a solid strike would just push the weapon away and hit you regardless. So just be aware of things like that. Now, it's not to say that things like flourishing doesn't have any purpose to try and figure out, okay? What things like this does teach you is coordination. So that can be an advantage. I have a whole video on flourishing, but when you actually fight with them, it's a completely different story. And then when people do put like interesting weapons to the test, like nunchucks, usually it's not against a completely, fully aggressive resisting opponent. It's a very compliant or, reluctant opponent who's actually not charging anyone, because nunchucks have a big problem against like an aggressive opponent that just charges you. You'll get one hit possibly, and then the weapon will be mostly nullified, and their stopping power is a big issue then. This type of thing is a bit more common in martial arts than you might realize. For instance, when I've seen like martial art demonstrations where people will lie on a sword and like chop a board with their hands or something like that, and to show that the sword was sharp, they had the sword cutting like a zucchini or a banana or something like that, and that's such a misdirected falsehood because it's a completely blunt sword. Try and do it on an actual sharp sword and you'll be cutting yourself open quite significantly. Another one is like, sometimes you see those Shaolin monks, they put like a sword in the throat and they push in, and what's actually happening is they're pushing the sword up and it's not as sharp on the tip than you might think. Do it with a sword like this and have someone properly hold it so it's not getting bent upways, like that. So the pressure's going up and not in, it'll go right through their throat. There's a lot of tricks like this, nunchuck one, as with many others. In actual fact, one of the more impressive parts about that video was knocking the card out of the bottle, but that's just do enough cuts and you'll get it eventually, all right? It's not particularly skillful. And so the fact that some people, thinking that this means nunchucks are great and that sticks can't do it, which we showed sticks definitely can do it, does actually show that some people can be fooled by overly flashy things. Well, now you know, hopefully, well, you guys are smart, you probably never fooled in the first place, but be aware of those tricks that you see. Still, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you on the next video here on Shadowversity. So until that time, farewell.